Episode 12 Magical Nights. A nearly full moon shone over Knothole as the vernal equinox approached. An unusually warm week had melted most of the snow, and all that remained of the winter was a few memories and lingering chill in the north wind. And the strange urge for everybody in Knothole to start singing Winter Wrap Up, Winter Wrap Up! 3 days of winter coolness and awesome holidays. We kept our feet warm and so stay inside to play. But the food we stored is running out, and we can't grow in this cold. And even though I love my boots, this lesson is getting old. I am not sorry. One bit. Antoine and Sonic crouched outside Sally's hut. Are you sure there's no other way? Sonic asked for the 1,000th time. For how your Uncle Chucky explained it? No. Antoine answered for the 1,000th time. Are you to be chickening out? Me? Chicken out? Sonic asked loudly. Antoine clapped a hand over Sonic's mouth, glancing at Sally through the window. Sally was so engrossed in working on the coal, she didn't notice the outburst. If you do that again, I will be leaving you to your own devices, Antoine whispered angrily. Sonic nodded and Antoine let him go. They stayed motionless until Sally went to sleep. This was hard for Sonic, then crept over to the door. Antoine tried the knob and opened the door as silently as possible. He motioned to Sonic to follow him inside. Hey, what are you two doing? A voice from behind him demanded. Sonic turned, his finger to his lips. Sandra stood there, hands on her hips, glaring at Sonic and Antoine. What are you two up to? Sandra asked. You better not be playing a prank on my sister. Easy, Sandra, Sonic whispered. This is really big. She can't know about it. Well then, please let me in on it. Tomorrow, I promise. If you want to help, stand guard and make sure nobody comes by. Sandra nodded and stood outside the door, and Sonic and Antoine crept inside. Sonic moved to Sally's bed as Antoine filled a small bowl of warm water. What's that for? Sonic asked, taking a small syringe out of his backpack. You have to be defending her attention, or she will wake up, Antoine whispered, placing the bowl on Sally's bed and putting one of Sally's hands in the water. Sonic shook his head, unsure of what Antoine was doing. He took Sally's other arm and tied a small rubber strip around it. He lightly tapped the inside of her elbow, just as Uncle Chuck had shown him. When a vein became visible, he slowly slid the needle into it and attached a small tube to the other needle. Blood started filling the tube, and Sally visited slightly. Sonic undid the strip and pulled out the tube when it was nearly full. He took out the needle and applied a small gauze to the area till the bleeding stopped. That done, he and Antoine tiptoed from the hut. I don't know what you did, Sandra said as they came out, but I hope you have a good explanation for this. Very good, Sonic said. As tales about tomorrow, you won't be disappointed. Oui, and I am sure that we can count on you keeping our secret, Antoine added. Sandra nodded. She started inside and stopped. By the way, Antoine, she said over her shoulder, I hardly even notice your accent anymore. But of course, Antoine said, smiling, I have been looking hard on this. I still have my accent, but I am much more understandable. Well, I'm going to bed. See you two in the morning. Sonic and Antoine whispered their goodnights and headed off in separate directions. Sonic used to the power ring pool, where Uncle Chuck and Rotor were waiting. Here you go, Unc, Sonic said, handing over the tube. Uncle Chuck looked at the tube and nodded. Yes, this will do nicely, he said. Rotor and I will take care of it from here. You sure you want to do this? Rotor asked. This is a really big step for you. Rote, I ain't never been more sure of anything in my whole life, Sonic said. When will it be ready? About 6 hours, Uncle Chuck said, handing Rotor the tube. It'll take a little longer to finish it, but you'll have it by noon. Way past, Unc. Now I better get some sleep. Sonic used to his hut and threw himself on the bed. He got under the covers and fell asleep, thinking about what he was going to do tomorrow. As the sun rose over Knothole the next morning, "Ah, Bazenya, the peace of the forest was shattered by an angry yell. "Antoine!" Sally screamed, storming out of her hut in just a coat and nightgown. "Where are you? You've got too far this time!" Bunny ran out of her hut. "What the hoo-ha's the matter, Sally girl?" she asked. "Where is he?" Sally asked. "What happened?" Bunny asked, then taken aback by Sally's temper. Sandra rose down and grabbed her sister. "Antoine pranked her last night," she said. "What did he do?" "Oh, just made me lose control of my bladder," Sally whispered angrily, a bright shade of pink. Bunny and Sandra both turned pink as well, as Sally seemed to get control of herself. "Bunny," she said in a voice all the more scary because of its coolness, "you find your boyfriend, and tell him that after I clean up and get dressed, he is dead." "Easy, Sally," Sandra said. "You'll feel different after a shower." Sally grumbled all the way back to her hut. Bunny ran over to Antoine to warn him. "Wake up, Antoine!" she yelled, shaking him awake. "You're in for it now!" Antoine opened his eyes and sat up. "What is it done?" he asked sleepily. "Sally's on the warpath for that prank you pulled last night. I'll go and hide for a while." Antoine smiled. "That will not be possible, my beautiful doll. I will be helping Sonic today." "You sure how working together?" Bunny asked, bemused. "Now I'll explain everything." An extremely crafty look crossed Antoine's face, but it was gone before Bunny could notice it. "Bunny, perhaps you could help us." "Yeah, maybe put Antoine in the witness protection program," he said slowly. "We are planning something big for our princess. You might be key to helping us." "Oh, the floating island looks great. It's great this year. I mean, Lilas is loving it." "Aloha, oi." We could always go to Station Square. I mean, that's a pretty good place. Bunny looked at Antoine, one eyebrow raised. Wait. Let's go to Soliana." No, let's not go to Soliana. That's a silly place. "I don't know what you two are up to, but I ain't gonna do anything to her." Antoine looked hurt. "Bunny, surely you do not think we would do anything to hurt her? No. We are going to make tonight the happiest night of her life." "Okay, Sir Cow," Bunny said. "I'll help. Will you leave me alone?" Antoine smiled. He made Bunny sit on the bed next to him and quickly told her the plans. Later that day, when Sally's anger had cooled somewhat, Sandra and Tails approached her. "Hey, sis," Sandra called. "Feeling okay?" Yeah, Sally grumbled. "So what's up?" "Well, we were thinking about going to Robotropolis on a raid," Tails said, switching his tails. "Like, with us?" "Who's going?" Sally asked. "Oh, just us two and Dulcie." "What? You're kidding, right?" Sally exclaimed. "What could you three do on your own?" "Nadia identified another possible room with a set of robot assassination gun plants in it," Sandra explained. "It's best for a small group to go, especially seeing we don't have that spy around anymore." "Why don't you ask Sonic to go?" Tails and Sandra looked at each other. "Well, he's not around. Probably off with his parents somewhere," Sandra said. "Anyway, we'd like for you to come. Might give you a chance to let off some stress." Sally thought it over. Something was up, but she wasn't going to find out what was sitting there. "Okay," she said. "I'll go." "Great. Meet you by the bridge in 5 minutes." Sandra walked off with Tails right beside her. "Sure hope this works." "It will," Tails said encouragingly. As they flew off, Sandra made a signal to Sonic, who was hidden in the trees. He jumped down and ran to Antoine's hut where he and Bunny were waiting. "Okay, you two, let's get started," Sonic said. "Here you go," Antoine said, holding out a Setsepperin. "But you don't." "Oh, man," Sonic grumbled, but he did as he was told. "What are we making anyway?" "You shall see," Antoine said, smiling. "I have planned on the combination of many different dishes." "Any chili dogs?" Sonic asked helpfully. Antoine nodded. "But," he warned, "they will be made later. I'd like to know we have other things to do." "Let me try landing on this my own, Sally," Dulcie said as they neared our Robotropolis. "You sure, Dulcie?" Sally asked. "We haven't practiced for a while." "I can do it," she said confidently, giving Sally a thumbs up. Sally looked at Sandra. the only one sitting on Dulcie's back, who shrugged.
Don't worry, Aunt Sally, Tails said. I'll get her off if Dulcie blows the landing. Oh yeah? What's this?
Dulcie dived from the sky, taking her wings close to her body. Dulcie, you're going too fast! Sandra yelled, hanging on for dear life.
Don't worry, Dulcie said. I got it covered.
She just kept gaining speed until she was a few feet from the ground. She opened her wings, using them as a sort of parachute, and managed to test down lightly.
See?
She said happily. That was great, Dulce, Sandra said, sliding down as Tails and Sally landed nearby.
Thanks!
Dulcie took a step, tripped up over her own feet, she fell face first to the ground.
You okay, Dulcie?
Tails asked, and Sting ran to her head.
I'm okay, Ma,
Dulcie said, shook her head.
Man, even when I do a perfect landing, I end up hurting myself.
Don't worry, Dulcie, Sally said encouragingly. Just watch where you're going. Which way now, Sandra? Sandra took out Nadia and opened up this. Dulcie picked herself off the ground. Nadia, display map. Displaying now, Nadia said. Right here is a hallway not on the map, Sandra said, pointing. Nadia picked it up during our last raid. But she also picked up a couple dozen AI SWAT bots, which is why I didn't check it out till now. Sally nodded. Sounds good. So, since you're the one who suggested it, you take charge. How are we going to get to it? Sandra scowled at her sister momentarily, then heaved a sigh. I should have known, she muttered. All right, let's get to the general area. Then I'll have Nadia scan for the best path to her room.
No offense, guys, but it looks too small for me in there, Dulcie pointed out. I'll just fly around until it's time to go.
Sally looked at Dulcie. All right, what's going on here? She demanded. There's no reason to bring Dulcie. Tails and I could have flown while you ran.
Why, Sally, what are you talking about? Dulcie asked innocently. I have no idea what you're trying to imply.
Sally's lip turned into a glare. Don't try that sing-song voice with me, Dulcie. I know when I'm being set up. She reached for Nicole and found her missing. Hey, where's my computer? I know she was on my boot when we left. Was she? Sandra asked in fake surprise. I didn't see her. Sally closed her eyes and took a deep breath. Okay, I see your game, she said, chuckling softly. Send the princess on a wild goose chase so everyone can laugh at her when she gets back, right?
That's not it at all, Aunt Sally, Tails protested. This is so genuine. We wouldn't call you out for anything less.
Okay, fine. I'll play along, Sandra said, throwing up her hands. Lead on, Sandra. In the command center, Melisonic was viewing the screens when he saw Dulcie flying up. Computer, magnify sector C9, he said, punching a few buttons. In a couple of seconds, he saw the small party making their way towards the control room.
Anything to report?
Stiffly asked, walking to the room. Just some uninvited guests, Melisonic answered, pointing at the monitors.
Stiffly smiled. Well, let's say we see how our newest operative is adapting.
He walked to his chair and pushed a button. Report to Sector C9. Yes, came a somewhat unrecognizable growl. Think he's ready for it? Melisonic asked.
Only one way to find out, Sniffly answered.
Back in the hole, Antoine was fisting around his cabinets for some ingredients.
I think I'm out of paprika, he muttered. I'll have some of a hut,
Bunny said, wiping her hands on her apron. I'll get it, Sonic said, revving up his legs. Antoine grabbed Sonic.
Quietly, or the souffle will be ruined,
Antoine cautioned. Some days I love it when we see Antoine being the main cook of the group. I really do. There's a part of me that just imagines that that at certain parts around Freedom Fire HQ, somebody plans to cook, and suddenly Antoine becomes a brutal commander, wielding his sword and telling everybody to get out or else. Sonic glared at Antoine, but calmed himself. He walked out of the hut and soon returned with the bottle in his hands. Got it, he said softly. Antoine was just taking the souffle out of the oven.
Smells delicious,
Bunny says. He sat on the counter to cool. Personally, I prefer a little spicier food. Oh, sir, the Southern gal prefers the spicy food. What a freaking stereotype.
Oh, by the way, my side for easier. Yes, Trix? We have your spicy pizza with extra peppers and extra chili on it, in case you're wondering. And, oh yes, here's those cheese sticks you asked with a little bit of cayenne in it. Thank you, Trixie.
What? Some stereotypes are true, especially when it comes to us Southerners. I happen to enjoy a little spice in my food sometimes. What? Stop looking at the screen like that. Especially you, Tom. This is how you are cooking it, Antoine pointed out. Taking the paprika for Sonic and giving it to Bunny. Remember, if we only cook food for her, she will catch on immediately. We want to keep her in suspense for as long as possible. Sonic nodded. I gotcha. You looked at his watch. How long do you think before she gets back? Don't worry about it, Sugar Hog, Bunny said. Sugar Cow's got everything worked out. How long does it take for you to make your chili dogs? Antoine asked. Depends on how spicy or rich the sauce is. Probably say about an hour and a half. And then you should get started in about 15 minutes. And then you can get started on the carrot cake. Bunny's ears perked up.
Wow, Antoine, you know I love carrot cake.
Speaking of falling into the stereotype, Antoine smiled at a snowy smile, but Bunny couldn't see it.
Remember, this is supposed to be looking like a surprise dinner for you and Sally,
he said, handing Sonic the recipe.
I know.
I hope it's low fat, though. I have to watch my flavor. What? Am I not eating enough? Bunny, we're all watching your figure. We're watching it shake and shimmy and shake and bounce and zzz, and dance and bounce and woohoo!
Nutty Trixie. Thank Twilight for helping her with that static shock spell.
I hate her. I really do. Bunny started to say something, but thought better of it. I hope he'll do all this for me one day, she thought. Back in Robotropolis, Saunders has an uneasy feeling. I don't like this, Sandra said, eyeing the passageway. It's too easy.
And you're complaining?
Tails asked jokingly. No, Sandra's right, Sally said. There should at least be a few SWAT bots guarding it. Have Nadia scan again for any SWAT bots in the area. I already told you, there are no SWAT bots within 25 meters of our position, Nadia said testily. I'm keeping them peeled for any activity, but there is none. Okay, keep us informed. I guess one of us should go in while the others stay here. Why don't you go in, sis? Sandra insisted. Miles and I can stay here. Sally looked at Sandra, trying to gauge if this was more of the setup she was experiencing, but the genuine look of worry convinced her that it was not. She nodded once and walked down the hallway, keeping an eye open for traps. She made it safely to the door and opened it. The room was empty, as Nadia said. Sally poked around, easily finding the roboticization plans. She scanned through them, looking for the telltale mark that would identify the correct page. This time it was page 10. She ripped it off and turned to the door, ready to leave. Sandra and Tails burst into the room, followed by a few blasts of laser fire. What happened? Sally asked as Tails slammed his door shut. A dozen SWAT bots seemed to appear out of nowhere, Sandra yelled, looking for something to barricade the door with. Nadia didn't give any warning about them. How was I supposed to know they have a cloaking device? Nadia demanded. Just see my scares now. Tails slumped heavily against the door, moaning in pain. Tails, honey, what happened? Sally asked as Sandra pushed the table against it.
I took a laser shot on the arm,
he said, showing a slightly burnt spot on his elbow.
I thought I was going to turn into a robot, but it burns like a regular laser.
Not that my shield, Sandra said. Seems like these bots are equipped with both types of lasers. Not only that, but the guns have mesh screens on the barrels, so I can't get a crystal in. Every time I get an H on him, he comes back stronger, Sally said in frustration. Don't worry about that now, Sandra said, bandaging Tails' arm with a strip of cloth. Worry about how we're getting out of here. Can't you shred them with your crystals? Sally asked. Sandra shook her head. I might get a few, but there's no way to get them all in this hallway. Can I make a suggestion? Nadia asked. What? Looks like there's a vent in the eastern wall. You might be able to climb through it and get out.
I'll get it,
Tails said, flying up and ripping out the vent cover, though it obviously pained him. Come on, Sandra, Sally said, picking her up and flying into the opening, pushing her inside.
I think you on, Sally,
Tails said. Sally crawled in and Tails followed suit.
Sandra, can Nadia figure out where we're headed?
From the slope, I say the roof, Nadia said. We'll call Dusty once we're up there, Sandra said. Good idea, Sally said. How far to go? About 75 meters, Nadia said. The vent is straightforward, no turn-offs. They all nodded and continued to climb in silence. Sonic stood by the stove, getting ready to make his chili sauce. The carrot cake he had mixed with Ranton's recipe was cooking in the oven, and Bunny was getting really hungry from the smell. She was cooking something that looked and smelled really spicy next to him. Just the smell of it was making his eyes water. Mind if I use some of those spices in my sauce? Sonic asked shockingly.
Only if you want to scorch your insides,
Bunny said, laughing. This is a family secret recipe. This is why I prefer some of the Apple family's recipes. They don't burn me as much.
It can't be that hot,
Sonic protested, bringing his sauce to a simmer. You'll slate to that, Bunny said, taking the pan off the heat. She scooped the food into a large bowl and covered it. She placed a couple of hot water balls on top of it to keep it warm.
There's a little till tonight. Anything else for me to make, Sir Kyle?
You can help me with this, Antoine said, straining to turn a crank on an old-looking device. Or you can check with Rosie to see if the dress is being ready. What are you making? Sonic gasped, adding the beans and onions to his sauce. Antoine opened the lid and poured out a cup of diced strawberries. It is one of our princess's most favorite desserts, he said simply. Bunny made her arm robotic and tried to crank easily. I know Sally likes cake, but this ain't how you make one, she said. Antoine smiled. I am thinking about back before the coop. Remember, let's see, used to insist on eating every night, no matter how she felt. Strawberry ice cream, Sonic said, remembering. Man, I could go for a dish of that myself. You'll get some tonight, Antoine said, tapping the device in his lap. Rota put it together a few weeks ago, but it was too cold to be eating ice cream then. Sonic smiled. Everything's gonna be perfect tonight. I owe you too big. No problem, Sir Hog, Bunny said. Just don't be surprised if you have to return the flavor someday. So yeah, glancing obliquely at Antoine. Antoine blessed a little. Do not do this, Sonic, he said, clearing his throat. That day will not come for many months yet. Bunny's face fell. With a sigh, she walked out of the hut and headed off to Rosie's. That was cold, Aunt, Sonic whispered as he passed by Antoine. You know you gotta ask her soon. It's sooner than she thinks, Antoine muttered with a smile, emptying the contents of the machine into a bowl. Sonic shrugged, unsure what he meant, as Antoine put the bowl in an icebox and took the cake from the oven. Outside, Bunny is most likely dressed in a really nice outfit and probably singing with backup dancers of Cream, Rouge, and Blaze.
Oh boy, you know what's coming, folks. You know he's gonna pull out.
That is how you love me, I wanna know. How can I tell if he loves me so? Is it in his eyes? Oh no, you'll be deceived. Oh no, he'll make believe. If you wanna know if he loves you so, it's in his kiss. That's where it is. Oh yeah. I just couldn't help myself. New microphone. Yeti, I couldn't, never done it this often. No, but I love it just the same. Sandra kicked the grate out and scrambled to the roof with Sally and Tails close behind. I hope Dulcie can hear this whistle, Sandra said, lifting it to her lips. Put the whistle down and turn around slowly. A familiar voice growled behind him. They turned around and saw Dorian standing there, rifle aimed at Sandra's chest. You will come with me, so that I simply may decide your fate, as you have decided mine. Dorian? Sally asked disbelievingly. I was sure Sniffly would have had you roboticized. As was I, but he does not turn his back on his friends. He believes that is the mistake his uncle made. Now, come with me, and please do not make me harm you. All three put their hands up and started walking where he indicated. Nadia, who was still open in Sandra's head, fired a laser burst into the air. Dorian brought his rifle around and fired, striking Nadia and knocking her from Sandra's hand. She should be undamaged, Dorian said, aiming again at Sandra. This roboticization gun can't harm anything metallic. Then maybe you should try it on me, a voice yelled from above, followed by a cloud of pink gas that enveloped Dorian. He ran, coughing and gagging to the door, stumbled inside, but just inside the door collapsed. Dulcie! Tails yelled gladly, looking up and spying on her dragon friend. Guess I got that sleep gas down, huh? She asked, landing on the roof. I'll say. Tails walked over and picked up the roboticization gun. We can always use one of these. Dorian grabbed weakly at the gun, flipping a switch on it. The gun started beeping and shaking. Get down! Tails yelled, tossing the gun over the edge. A loud explosion sounded, throwing everyone down and shaking the building to its foundation. We better get out of here, Sally said, flying up. Swap Us will be all over this place in a few seconds. Sandra grabbed Nadia and jumped on Dulcie's back. They all flew off just as Swap Bots appeared and opened fire. They dodged the beams as best they could, though Dulcie's tail got a little singed and soon were out of range. That was close, Sally said as he flew back towards the hole. When we get back, I'm going to soak in the tub all night. Not if I get there first, Sandra said, laughing. Once Sally wasn't looking, she keyed something on Nadia and quickly closed her up. Nicole beat 3 times, startling Sonic. They're on their way! He called, almost dropping the ladle from his chili sauce. Buddy nodded. She seemingly recovered from her disappointment earlier that evening. I'll go intercept her, get ready, she said. Let's hope Sandra remembers to take her directly to the hut. And we will put in the finishing touches on the dinner, Antoine said. How long do you think I'll need, Sir Cow? Antoine exchanged a quick glance with Sonic. 2 hours at the most. We can have Rosie come for you when everything is ready. Buddy nodded, hurried to Sally's hut. Antoine smiled and looked at Sonic, who was visibly shaking. Are you having the butterflies in your stomach, Sonic? He asked, smiling. Sonic nodded, wiping his brow. Now that the time's almost here, I'm having second thoughts about all this, he confessed. Antoine shook his head. Only you can decide whether or not this is right, he said in a low, weird voice. When the time comes, your heart will guide you. In Robotropolis, Dorian was brought before Sniffly and Metal Sonic. I failed you, he said simply. Sniffly looked at Metal Sonic and smiled. Dorian, I told you already, you are safe here, he said. True, you failed this time, but we are friends. No matter how many times you fail me, I will not turn against you. I know full well that you'll one day more than prove your worth, and I intend to let you. You are most kind, Dorian said, bowing. Have you set up my clearance yet? You are third in command, under me, Metal Sonic said. Dorian nodded. Thank you. Now I take my leave. He turned on his heel and walked out. Did you mean what you said? Metal Sonic asked when they were alone. You know me by now. You figure it out, Sniffly answered mysteriously. As soon as they touched down, Sally and Sandra raced for the hut. Sally beat Sandra by a fraction of a second and locked herself in the bathroom. Beat you this time, Sandra. Don't be too long, Sandra said, banging on the door. Does Sal girl expect anything? Asked a voice behind her. No, Bunny, Sandra whispered, turning around. Is everything ready? Almost. I already got showered dressed. Hope you two don't mind me using her bathroom. Now we're just waiting on her. Sandra appeared in her deepening showers for sunset, was less than 2 hours away. Nelsie's right over there. Hi, Sunset! So, what did the races look like? She asked. Not even Antoine Saint-Mill. Mostly made a special for us. Well, we'll be watching, Sandra said, tiptoeing out. Bunny smiled and sat on Sally's bed. So she smoothed out her dress and thought about what would happen that night. Sally's sure lucky, she thought. I hope she'd be surprised by all this. She looked at her dress and smiled again. Rosie sure did a great job on these races. Looks just like the one my mama gave me. Except this one's purple. Ugh! Well, that's probably because she made my mama's dress. You know, you keep guys referencing bunnies as mama and papa, and all I can think of is this poor girl's had rough. She chuckled. I feel so much like a lady tonight. I just wish the was for me. She waited patiently for Sally to get done, which took about 30 minutes. Sally stepped out of the tub, put her bathrobe, tied it loosely. All right, Sandra, I'm coming out, she said, opening the door. She was surprised to see Bunny sitting there on her bed. Well, what are you doing here, Bunny? She asked with surprise. Why are you all dressed up? Same reason I'm gonna get dressed up, Sally girl, she said, holding a dress similar to her own, except it was a light blue. Go on, get dry now. You still haven't told me why, Sally said, looking extremely confused. Let's just say the boys asked for it, Bunny said. I can't get any information out of them. They were and Uncle Chuck have been keeping me busy all day. Sally smiled. You know, things are finally falling into place. Tails and Sandra made it a point to keep me busy today, even though they probably had a more interesting way of doing it. Bunny smiled. Well, you think those boys are up to? I don't know, but we'll find out. So he took the rest to disappear into the bathroom. Come on, Aunt! Sighed pleaded as he put the finishing touches on the table. Do we have to? You want this done tonight? Antoine asked. Answers that question, and you have mine. Sonic grumbled something, but Antoine could not make it out. Probably didn't want to. He stood there, holding the tuxedo out to Sonic until Sonic snatched it. I'm used to wearing only my sneakers, he muttered. Certainly you are thinking that Sandy is with us this yet. Sonic scowled, but went behind a tree. In a minute, he came out dressed in a tux, matching Antoine's except in bow tie and cummerbund. Sonic's were light blue, and Antoine's were purple. I feel like a penguin, Sonic muttered. Trust me, Sandy will be appreciating this. He walked to the edge of the path. Lucy, he called, please ring them now. Fuzzy smiled as he came into view. I know what you're up to, she says as he walked to Sally's hut. Sonic scratched his head. Of course she knows. We told her what all this was for, he said. But Antoine just smiled. She was the one I could never fool, he thought. Sonic said, let's just stick up a position, Sonic. Sonic looked like he was about to cut and run, but patted his pocket reassuringly, feeling the small box there. Rosie knocked softly on the door to Sally's hut. It's time, ladies, she called. A door opened and Bunny and Sally stepped out into the fading sunlight. You two look beautiful, Rosie said, giving each one a quick hug. If you follow me, the boys are waiting. Rosie led them down the path to the powering pool. This is where I leave you, she said, just outside the pool. The boys are waiting for you. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Does everyone know about this but us? Sally whispered. Bunny just shrugged and smiled. They walked until they came inside the pool and stopped staring. At the edge of the pool, 2 small tables had been set up with 2 chairs each. Atop each table were lit candles, and what each recognized as Antoine's best plates. Soft music was playing in the background, adding to a romantic atmosphere. This is the night, and the moments are right, and they call it Bella Notte. Too cliche. Well, what shocked each one the most, especially Sally, was their boyfriends were wearing tuxedos. Sonic and Antoine were no less shocked at seeing the girls in their dresses. Each dress was sleeveless, strapless, and backless. There was a slit in each dress by the leg, which reduced from head to thigh, and each one had some makeup on. Not much, but enough to enhance their beauty. Oh, bye-bye. Antoine was the first to recover. You look gorgeous, he said to Bunny, taking her by the hand and leading her to the table. Sai did the same, after a little prompting from Antoine. You calm me down like the morning sun. You feel my touch like the morning...
TBGs.
You're no fun, Trix. What's all this for? Sally asked as Sonic pushed her chair in. Tonight's a very special night, Sally, Sonic said, the cockiness gone from his voice. Don't ask any more questions. Just sit back and enjoy the night. Sonic and Antoine bowed and walked off quickly. What's going on here? Sally asked Bunny, who just shrugged. In moments, they returned carrying a large bowl. Would you do the honors, Aunt? Sonic asked. Of course, Antoine answered, scooping something into the bowls on his table. Then he walked where Sally sat and did the same. Sally looked at her bowl and saw that it was a fresh salad, containing all of her and Bunny's favorite vegetables. She lit it up with Sonic, who just smiled as he sat down across from her. Antoine placed the salad bowl on a nearby table, which Sally had just noticed now, and sat down across from Bunny. I hope the salad is to your liking, Sonic said a little awkwardly. Islands in the stream, that is what we are.
D-Dolly.
I swear this girl's ruining the moment. Sally tasted the salad and nodded. It's great, Sonic, she said. Sonic sighed and relaxed a little. Sally went on eating and was surprised that Sonic had even eaten some of his salad. And I thought you only ate chili dogs, Sally joked. Sonic laughed a little. I guess I'm finally taking your advice, he said. They finished the salad in silence. Then Sonic got up again. Time for the next course, he said, motioning to Antoine, who nodded. You know, they should have gotten some real penguins for this. Would have been hilarious. What course? Sally inquired. Sonic nodded as he and Antoine walked off. Lacer are all laying out for some reason, Bunny remarked. Sally could only nod. During the return, Sonic and Antoine each carried a covered plate. They placed the plates in the center of the respective tables. For you, mademoiselle, Antoine said, lifting the cover. Oh, Antoine, Bunny exclaimed, eyeing her favorite food on the plate. Since when do you know how to cook this? Antoine just smiled and nodded to Sonic. Sonic laid the cover to his plate. I should have known, Sally said when she saw the chili dogs. Just couldn't resist, could you? Sonic looked at the plate. Oops, my mistake, he said, turning the plate around. Sally's eyes widened slightly. Shrimp, but how? No questions, remember? Sonic gasped, sitting down in his chair. Just enjoy. You know, now that I think about it, probably the easiest way to explain how come there are some non-sentient animals while there are some sentient animals on Mobius. That's the way evolution works. Sally took the shrimp and bit into it. This is so good, she said, downing in the corner of her mouth with a napkin. She took a chili dog and ate that as well. You outdid yourself this time. Sonic smiled as he ate. Not Scarf, some of the chili dogs herself. Sally saw that Sonic was exhibiting considerable restraint, usually not one of his trademarks. Whatever was going on was bigger than she thought. There was nothing left to do but enjoy the ride. I could show you the world, shining, shimmering,
to Full House.
Trixie, only people who are listening to this who are a fan of cast listings would know what I'm talking about. Maybe I could use the Book of Love. Two scrubs! Darn it, Trix! I'll figure out one that I'll accept. In due time, they finished the meal. That was great, Sally said, leaning back in and slightly in her chair. I hope you save some room for dessert, Sonic said, rising from the table once more.
Now you two don't have to.
Bunny began as Antoine also got up. Antoine silenced her with a kiss. Yes, they did, he said simply as Sonic cleared the tables and walked off again.
This isn't some sort of special day, is it, Sally girl?
Bunny asked.
Not that I know of,
Sally replied. During the later stages of the course, she became aware of an unusual rippling of bushes and trees that surrounded the pool. Whatever Sonic and Antoine were planning looked like they had all of Knothole in on it. When they returned this time, Antoine was carrying a cake plate and Sonic had a bowl. This dessert is a special treat, Antoine said, taking up his position next to Bunny. Please close your eyes, both of you.
Well, I've been good to us so far,
Bunny said, closing her eyes.
I guess,
Sally said, closing hers. They waited patiently as she heard Sonic scooping something into his bowl.
Carrot cake!
She heard Bunny exclaim.
Oh, Antoine, you really got everything right tonight.
Sally felt a spoon pushed against her lips, and she opened her mouth. There was something quite cold and creamy on the spoon. I would worry if it was warm and creamy.
Oh, you!
And it tasted of fresh strawberries.
It can't be,
Sally said, swallowing. She opened her eyes. Strawberry ice cream? It's been years since I had this, but how? Now, what did I say about questions? Sighed Grandma softly. He put the bowl in front of her, as if waiting for something.
Sonic, tonight's been a perfect night,
Sally said, putting her heart into each word.
I don't know why you're doing it, but I'm so glad you did.
Sonic smiled. I'm glad you like it, Sally. But it hasn't been the perfect night yet. Sally looked at Sonic.
What do you mean?
She asked. Well, remember when we first thought we won? Sonic asked. That was the first time you tried chili dogs. It was also the day you questioned my love for you.
Oh, yeah.
You're having a hard time saying that you loved me, and I was a little more upset. Why are you bringing it up now? Sonic smiled and put his hand in his pocket. I told you that day that I loved you since I met you, and I always would. I also asked you to be able to do the same. It's a rhetorical question, but it's not one now. Sonic dropped to one knee, taking one of Sally's hands in his. Sally just stared down, everything coming to focus at once. Princess Sally Alicia Acorn? Sonic said solemnly, taking a small black box from his pocket and opening it. Will you marry me?
Before this magic night falls and fades away, I've got to find the words to steal your heart away. You're such a vision, oh baby listen, I may be putting it all on the line. I get so weak when I look into your eyes. I feel the heat, baby, I must be hypnotized. But if I could, well, we both know I would start the hands of time here tonight.
Perfect! Step it up! Thank you.
It seemed when I met you, we've been here before, that I don't forget you on some other shore. Fate was my friend, she brought you here again. Now you're in my arms, suddenly. My heart is blind to other eyes. It seems to just see you. It couldn't fool me even if I wanted to. Your love has saved me. Your smile is sacred. I want to be with you all my life. This is no fantasy, no, not anymore. You're much more real to me than anything before. Now you're just here, it seems so clear. Now I'm gonna take the fall, take this all. Well, love is forever, as free as the wind. Then nothing else matters when it comes again. Time is my friend, 'cause she brought you again. Now you are here in my arms. It seemed when I met you, we were here before. I didn't forget you on some other shore. Drake was my friend, 'cause he brought you again. Now you're here in my arms. Love is the motion tonight, and it's time to set it free. 'Cause you're the one, the only one who could deliver me. Your love is an ocean of fire when you turn to my knee. Now I will remember for all eternity.
While love is forever, as free as the wind, then nothing else matters when it comes again. Time is my friend, 'cause he brought you again. Now you're here in my arms. That was actually sung by Sonic's original voice actor. I couldn't help myself. Tears came to Sally's eyes. Oh, Sonic, she whispered. For my heart, my answer is yes, yes! She exclaimed, throwing her arms around Sonic's neck. A tear fell from Sonic's eye. He took her left hand and slung the ring on the middle finger. Sally felt a small jolt as the ring put on. She stared at the ring and looked at the stone set in it. It seemed to glow in some way. The green stone looked vaguely familiar. This is a power ring, Sonic finished. Shake the fate on your finger. The gem is really a chip of the power stone. But I can't use a power ring, Sally protested weakly, even though she could feel the power surging through her. That's where I come in, Princess, Uncle Chuck said, stepping out from behind the bushes with Rudder. My old nephew asked me to compile a couple of devices to encode your DNA into a very special power ring that would be set with a chip of the power stone itself to give it a permanent power source. I created them with Rudder's help, but I still needed a sample of your blood to do it. That was why he needed my help, Antoine said, eating a bit of souffle. I blanked you last night, so you wouldn't notice him drawing the blood, but also because I owed you from about 8 years ago. You have a mind like a steel trap, Sally muttered. Then another realization dawned on her. You mean this was all a setup, from the beginning? She demanded. Sonic nodded, and all the sudden a knothole came to view. I had all of us in on it, Sally girl, Polly said, smiling. We even had to stare, including me, so you wouldn't get too suspicious. Not entirely true, but that's close enough, Antoine said, smiling his secret smile. And what's that supposed to mean? Bunny asked, as everyone turned to stare at Antoine. Antoine sighed and stood up. That was Sonic's reason for allowing you to join our setup, he said, walking slowly to her. But this was his never mind. See, I wanted to give you something to do, so you would never suspect my to-do motives. He dropped to one knee and pulled a small black box from his pocket, very similar to the one that Sonic had. I forged this ring with my own hands, he said, opening the box to reveal an exquisite diamond ring as a symbol of my love for you. I will now give it to you, in the hopes that you'll agree to become my wife. Then about, will you marry me? It seemed when I met you, we've been here before, that I don't forget you on some other shore. Fate is my friend, 'cause she brought you again. Now you're here in my arms. Well, love is forever, free as the wind. Then nothing else matters when it comes again. Time is my friend, when she brought you again. Now you're here in my arms. It seemed when I met you, we've been here before, that I didn't forget you on some other shore. Fate was my friend because she brought you again. Now you're here in my arms suddenly. Thank you very much. Bunny stared at Antoine as a low murmur went up from the crowd. Tears streamed down her face. Oh, Antoine, yes! So he waited until he placed the ring on her finger and hugged him slightly. Where you go, Aunt? Sonic said, giving a thumbs up. Welcome to the family, Maurice and Patricia both said, walking and hugging Sally and Sonic. Saw this with everyone, they failed to notice two figures emerging from the forest. All this was, one of them asked, quieting everyone immediately. How did you know we'd be back at this particular moment? Daddy? Sally asked softly, widening her eyes. She stared at the two figures. Daddy! She yelled, disengaging from Sonic and running to her father's arms. Welcome back, Sally, the king said, sweeping her up into his arms. Feels so good to hold you again. But what's this on your finger? Sonic and I are engaged. He just proposed. Well done, Sonic, the king said. So glad to hear that. See? Max, this is how you're nice. It seems real to be a family at last, Morris said, smiling. Patricia, Morris, you're alive, but how? It's a long story, Your Majesty, Patricia said.
Please, we're too good friends to have all that. Come, let's head back to Naho. I want to know everything that's happened since I've been gone.
He turned to watch Nahal when a light blue ball exploded into his arms. What the? Father! Sandra yelled, hugging the king slightly.
Sandra, you're alive too? This is a terrific day all around. We have much to celebrate.
Everyone biked about Nahal, cheering loudly. The dark cloud had been lifted, showing the sun for the first time in weeks. Everyone save one. Naga stayed behind, staring into the power ring pool.
I hope this is not a mistake, he thought. Who knows what I have wreaked upon Mobius? I must watch carefully that things do not turn out as I fear they shall.
He shuffled towards Knothole, hoping against hope his fears were unfounded. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, the season finale!